I used to be the person that would judge this whole materialistic lifestyle, like people who just thrive on showing that they have money. Like I would just hate it. I wouldn't understand it.
I feel like it's to do with intention, because if you're doing something and it's actually to do with your own enjoyment and your own pleasure, I think that's very different than trying to chase a name or a label.
I mean, a lot of girls want to marry rich, right? It's a very common thing.
They want to marry a rich man. I mean, I've been told the advice is just as easy to fall in love with a rich man as it is a poor man.
As it is to fall in love with a what? Say it again.
As a poor man, it's just as easy to fall in love with a rich man as it is to fall in love with a poor man. Like, I've been given this advice.
I feel like it's easier, question mark.
Yeah, it's easier. Exactly.
Yeah. But it's so funny because isn't that such a thing? Like, girls want to marry rich, but it's never been something that I had thought of growing up.
Yeah. On a serious note, I think that I know that a lot of people say it and they do mean it seriously, but I think for me, it's important to know that the person that I would be with would be hardworking, and to know that there was going to be a stable income, which I would also bring to the table, you know. So in that sense, I feel like I would want it to be matched, but as in matched in terms of effort. But I think when like marrying for money isn't something that would actually come into my mind. Like, as long as I feel like somebody was a hard worker, whatever they earned, as long as they were earning, you know, a good amount to be able to support the family, I feel like it's not really a priority for me, I don't think.
No, I agree. I think it's definitely not a priority for me as long as someone's hardworking, a hustler, like they run after what they want. But I definitely know it's quite a common thing for a lot of girls, because it shows stability. And you know, I used to, I mean, I'm gonna say it, I was Judge Judy. I used to judge girls that wanted to marry rich. I think that, you know, it's so interesting, because this brings me to a different point, but because money, like, it's kind of how the world is run, right? So much emotions and so many feelings are tied into money. Like, it can break families, right? And it can make families
bad.
It's
We've
crazy.
heard of engagements that have been cut off because the girl's family haven't accepted what the man could provide, which is awful. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah. And you know, people can have the same money. Families can have the same income, but they can be from different social classes, which is a whole other thing. And the two families don't relate, or the two families don't accept each other, or maybe the higher social
which
class
is even bigger in the Arab world and bigger in Egypt probably as well.
Oh, it's huge. It's huge in Egypt. Yeah. I actually had a thought that completely ran away from my mind. Yeah. I was talking about like emotions and like how money is tied to it. And I used to be the person, wallahi, to be quite honest with you, partly I still have that in me, but I've worked on it. But I used to be the person that would judge this whole materialistic lifestyle, like people who just thrive on showing that they have money. Like, I would just hate it. I wouldn't understand it. Like, why would you buy? I mean, I definitely was like a subject of it for a long time. Like, growing up, it's kind of what's around you. Like, I would think a Chanel bag or a Louis Vuitton, like, ooh, it's LV, like it has the logo. But then quite early on, like since age 15, I really got into the side of YouTube that was about more like of a minimalist, or like about more quality rather than brand labels. And when you also study graphic design and branding, you just realize this is all like a shit show. It's all like brands just putting their logos out there, and it doesn't make sense. Like, you realize how, I feel like I'm judging, you realize how stupid it all is.
Yeah, it's to do with luxury, isn't it?
It's to do with luxury, but it's literally a stamp of wealth. It's like, I'm rich and I have a Chanel bag. And listen, I'm not judging anyone with a Chanel bag. I have family members that own one. But I do have a lot of thoughts about this kind of lifestyle.
The thing is, it's nice to have nice things, but I feel like it comes from like, what's the intention? What's the source of why you're doing what it is? Is it because you want to treat yourself and you want something luxurious? Cool, like, do that. But I feel like,
but you want something luxurious, what does that even mean? I mean, you have to kind of start to read into yourself. Are you just conforming without even realizing that you're conforming? Because I agree that some designer brands I love and they can cost a lot, but they're still gorgeous. You feel like the design is really nice. I just think Chanel's ugly. I said.
I mean, oh my god, we're not getting sponsored by Chanel
No,
anytime
we're definitely
soon.
not. I mean, I didn't want them as a sponsor anyway. No.
They were too high maintenance. But what was I going to say? No, I think think of a brand that you do like. I
like a lot of
it's
brands,
nice
design
to feel,
wise.
yeah, I think, okay, think designer, think luxury, high end.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like sometimes it can feel nice to treat yourself. It depends again what it is, and it depends why.
Why is that treating yourself? I think it's just ingrained advertising. And listen, we can be aware that we're conforming to it.
I think it's the luxury. I think it's the difference between taking a shower and taking a bath with a bath bomb in it. I think it's actually how it can make you feel because of what it is. For example, a really luxurious, nice perfume, for example, or a really, really nice, high heel that, when you look down, you're like, oh my God, I love this. Or the same way when I look down at my, painted nails, I'm like, oh, I'm happy because my nails are painted.
Yeah. I'm a victim of this, of the red soles, the Louboutins.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's to do with intention, because if you're doing something and it's actually to do with your own enjoyment and your own pleasure, I think that's very different than trying to chase a name or a label or something. That's the difference between somebody buying, say, let's say it's a 500 £500 shoe, whatever, and it's because they really like it, they saved up, they want it, they want to treat themselves, they love how it looks, they feel amazing with it on, versus they don't even like the shoe but they know it's a red bottom, so they want to get it to impress. Do you know what I mean? I feel like the intention is important here.
It definitely is. Even though I just kind of slammed designer in a way, but I do agree with what you're saying. For example, the brand Mocktail is one of those brands that it's an Egyptian brand that makes bags. It's by these two sisters, and the designs are just beautiful. They have a shop here in Sahel, where I am at the moment, and I went in the other day, and I went in last year as well, and every year the designs get more and more beautiful. I feel like craft is put into it, and I really appreciate that. If we're talking luxury, I mean, this is a whole other thing. I feel like now it's a design podcast. But if we're talking luxury, I want to feel like thought has been put into this. I don't want to feel like this is the first draft that was approved by your manager. And I feel like a lot of designer, to me, sometimes feels like that. But Mocktail, I genuinely feel like every year the designs get better and better. The concepts are amazing. I just love it. This is something that hopefully I maybe would want to buy with my own money, because it feels like I'm buying a piece of art. And
then that's your take. So it's what you feel like you want to invest into art. So that's the form of luxurious art that you enjoy. I feel like it can also be that kind of self-care element, even having a perfume that smells really nice and you're like, oh my God, I smell so good, I love this, or whatever it is that you're into. But I feel like that can be healthy depending on how often and frequent you're doing it. Also, how much can you afford this? Are you doing this as a treat, or can you really afford this and you're living within your means, whatever, that's fine? Or are you doing it to impress others?